You can hear the Elvis music in the background. Anyways, hello everyone and welcome back to a new episode of Let's Talk Elvis. So it is now September. Elvis week was obviously in August, so it has since gone, and I still want to make this video though, even though it's a little bit after the fact. I still am sure that a lot of us have Elvis week on our minds and we're missing it very much, and so I wanted to take a little bit of time before the Elvis week content truly just dies down and make my kind of reflections video about this year. So I made a video like this last year and I loved it. It was really just like an opportunity for me to sit down and just remember and reflect on all the good memories that I had during Elvis week, and answer any of your guys' questions too. I asked over on Instagram if you guys had any questions or, you know, anything that you'd want me to answer in this video, so I'll be answering those as well the best as I can, but also just talking about like my experiences and what kind of memories that I came away with this year. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, first question, did you buy anything? Yes, I did. I bought a lot, actually. I save up literally all year for Elvis week, and then I come back and my bank account is actually empty. So I want to make a video, hopefully an Elvis week haul, and show y'all what I got, so keep an eye out for that. Someone said, I celebrated virtually, lit my candle, watched EP's movies, and listened to his songs. He's so missed. I love hearing the different ways that everybody celebrated at home. I think that you can make Elvis week so special for yourself no matter where you are and still celebrate Elvis, and I love hearing how everybody kind of made that happen for themselves and hearing all of y'all's stories of how you celebrated. So that makes me really happy. Someone asked, how busy was it compared to other years? Did you notice new fans due to the movie? So yes, actually, I met a couple people who came because of the movie and kind of became Elvis fans because of the movie. And that was awesome to see, something that I hoped would happen and kind of like cemented it for me. To see that in person. And to answer your question about how busy it was definitely packed. Like, it was super busy, which I guess for some people that's not, you know, your cup of tea if you know it's going to be a big anniversary. It was the 45th anniversary of his death this year, and so if you know that that's kind of not you don't really like being in large crowds and it's hot, it's so hot, you know, if that's not your thing, then maybe come, you know, during off season or like not an anniversary year. I think Elvis week is always going to be busy though, but this year was like crazy busy, and it was actually just amazing to see like everybody who came, and at the vigil, like literally just the oh my gosh, like the streets lined with just light and stuff from the candles and all the love in one space. It was amazing for me. I loved it. But yeah, if that's not, you know, your cup of tea to go in like large crowds and stuff, then yeah, you probably wouldn't have loved that aspect of it. But I know a couple of my friends and stuff are kind of sensitive to like large groups and things like that, and they still had a good time. It's just you kind of have to figure out, you know, do I want to go to this event or would I rather do this instead, just because I know there's going to be a lot of people there. So kind of tailoring it to you for sure, but I loved it and it was amazing. Would you recommend going to Elvis week during a milestone year or not? Example, 45 years or 46. So again, like I said before, it kind of just depends on, you know, personally, are you going to have a good time if it's busy and if it's packed and if it's hot and you're sweating and there's a lot of people there? Are you going to look at it as like, oh, there's a lot of people here, like, yay, celebrating Elvis together? Or are you going to look at it as like, there's a lot of people here, I can't breathe, it's really hot, I'm not having a good time? And kind of like determining that for yourself. In my opinion, I've gone on off years when it's not an anniversary, and I've gone when it is an anniversary. This year was my like first big Elvis week, and it's definitely different, but it wasn't to the point where I wasn't enjoying myself and having a good time. But again, that's a personal preference. I got a lot of questions like that asking like if it's too busy to go for a big anniversary and things like that, but kind of have to weigh the pros and cons and figure out what would like be an obstacle for you for having a good time. And there's nothing wrong with like, you know, realizing that in large crowds of people, when it's very sticky and humid and things like that, I know I wouldn't be able to enjoy myself. And then going in a year that it's not a big anniversary and maybe not a lot of people will be, or not as much people or as many, I can't literally speak, as many people will be there. So that's kind of a you thing. For me, again, just personal experience, there was a lot of people. I literally remember one day we were at the festival, and John's festival, and like I couldn't move. Like I was like back to back with people. I could not even move, but I was just laughing. It was a fun time, but maybe for some people that wouldn't be a fun time. So again, just kind of weighing it for yourself and figuring out what you would like and what you wouldn't. Someone said, "What exactly do you do there? I'm a new Elvis fan." Welcome to the Elvis world, girl. I am so glad that you are curious about it. Basically, Elvis Week, you could do so much there. There's so much to do. You could, you know, meet up with friends, which is like my favorite thing to do. There's events like EPE events that you can go to, like concerts and conversations with people who knew Elvis, and like tribute artist shows. There are like after parties. You obviously can tour his house. You can tour Graceland, the mansion. You can go to the complex, Elvis Presley's Memphis, and see all the museums and like catch all of his like jumpsuits. There's a ton of stuff to do down there. And if you want, you know, more specific things, you can always reach out to me or anybody else who went to Elvis Week this past year and ask, you know, what their favorite things to do. I would definitely say the vigil, the morning walk-ups. You can go up to the grave in the morning and just walk up, you know, the driveway of Graceland and pay your respects. I know that they also have some evening walk-ups, which I think would be really fun to do. But yeah, just a bunch of stuff to do. I think the social aspect of it is like my favorite, just meeting up with everyone, meeting new people, and, you know, creating friendships and things like that that will last literally a lifetime. So I got a lot of questions asking like, what's my favorite memory? What's my most treasured memory? What's my favorite moment? And to be honest, you guys, like literally, I had so many of those like pinch me moments this year where I was just like, I can't believe that just happened. I can't believe I met that person. I met so many cool people. And I met up with so many awesome people that I've known from before. So like Donna Lewis, I met up with her and she was literally so sweet. I love her so much, like actually so much. And she was like she was the one who told me like, we don't say goodbye here, we say see you later, and all this. Oh, she's so lovely. I love her so much. But Donna Lewis, and then I got to meet like new people. I got to meet like Jerry Chef and get my picture with him. Me and Sophia like were able to talk to him a little bit and get his autograph and things like that. We got to meet Estelle Brown from the Sweet Inspirations, which was incredible. And oh my gosh, one of my favorite memories with her was that we all had lunch with her, like a tiny group of people, and at the end of lunch we went outside and all stood in a circle and held hands. And it was on the 16th too, so it was like, oh girl, I was a wreck. I was a wreck. And we all held hands and stood in a circle, and she prayed, basically like thanking God for like bringing us all together, thanking God for Elvis, thanking God that like we had this opportunity to connect and become friends. And it was actually the most sweet thing like the most precious moment, the perfect way to close off Elvis Week for me. It was actually, I'll never forget that. It was amazing. I had a bunch of little moments too where I was like, I will never forget this. Like I'll always remember this. I remember the number one thing that like just set Elvis Week in stone for me, I was like, this is gonna be a good week, was when I went to go see the Elvis The Next Generation show right when I got to Memphis. I literally like got out of the car and went right to the event. So I was running a little bit late, and I sat down like right as they were starting the event. And the announcer, whoever was like leading the event, was like telling the audience as I sat down, he was like telling them to shut their eyes and pretend that they are at an Elvis show and that we are hearing Elvis sing in this concert or whatever. So we were all sitting there, we had our eyes closed, and Unchained Melody starts playing. And if you know me, you know me, that song gets me every single time. It's my favorite Elvis song. I was like, of course that song. And I think there was some lady in the front row who just like started clapping. It was maybe like 2 claps, and then she maybe realized that like nobody else was clapping, so she stopped. And the announcer for the show was like, no, that's okay, clap for him, clap for him. And then the entire audience just went crazy and started clapping. When he literally said clap for him, he's like, no, that's okay, clap for him. As Unchained Melody starts, and we're all just sitting there like, oh my gosh, that was like the most incredible thing ever. And it was the first thing. I literally got to Memphis, sat down in my seat, and that was the first thing that happened. And I was like, this is incredible. Like, this is gonna be the week. One more thing that when I just think of like treasured memories, I think of this is when me and Sophia were at the vigil, and it was just us two. We were waiting for like the rest of the group to come, and they were playing all these songs and things like that. We were just standing waiting in line, and they played Suspicious Minds, but it was like a remix of it. It wasn't like a fast-paced one either. It was like a more like chilled kind of emo Suspicious Minds. And we weren't facing each other. Like, we were like both looking around. I know that we were both thinking the same thing, but I was literally looking around in that moment like, this place is packed. Like, the streets are literally full of people who have come to this place tonight to celebrate one guy that they love so much. And it just hit me in that moment where I was like, look at all these people who love this guy. Like, it was just so moving. And I was looking around, looking at them, like, couldn't wrap my head around it. And I was crying, and I turn around and I look at Sophia because she's on this side of me, and she's crying. And then we both just like lost it because we saw each other crying, and we like hugged each other, and we were just like girl, emotional. And as we hugged each other, we weren't really paying attention to the song, but the lyrics from the song, Suspicious Minds, the lyrics were, I'll dry the tears from your eyes. And we literally looked at each other, and we were like, and we fully lost it. We were like, okay, he's here. Like, he's literally here. Yeah, I guess stories like that, like, you can't really tell them in a way that, like, you know, it would mean as much to somebody else as it meant to you. Like, you kind of had to be there type of thing. But it was, I'll never forget that. I'll literally never listen to that song the same either. Like, it was just incredible. And I had so many moments like that too. I could sit here and make a whole video of just like moments like that from Elvis Week, but it was incredible. This is funny. Someone asked, what do you order at Marlowe's? I'm not the person to ask. I am not a big Memphis food person, which kind of sucks for me because Memphis has great food. Like, it has like barbecue, and it's known for barbecue. It's known for its like Southern meals. It's Southern cuisine, if you will. But my stomach actually will die if I eat barbecue or, you know, heavy rich foods like that. I just can't. I order salads at Marlowe's. So, don't ask me what to get at Marlowe's because I'm not the one, girl. I'm not the one. Someone asked, will Priscilla be at every Elvis Week? I'm not sure. I know she was there last year, and she was there this past year. So I don't know if it's something that she does every year. I don't know if she did it during COVID or not. But that's a good question. I would say like there's probably a good chance that she will be. She does the opening ceremony every year, so, or at least the past 2 years. So I would say probably, yeah. Is Memphis/Graceland good for traveling alone? I would say no. Unless you're literally going to stay like in one area, like if you're going to stay within the like Graceland complex area, like if you stay at the guest house, you go to the mansion, you go to the complex, you go back to the guest house, like in that kind of bubble of space, I would say maybe, like, but Memphis is not the safest place to go. It's not the safest place in the US at all. I think it's like #1 for crime or like something like that, something crazy. So like any city, there's good spots to be and there's bad spots to be. So I would definitely do your research before if you're planning on going alone and just figure out where those places are that you should not go, like whether you're in a group or you're alone. There are just places to avoid. Especially like if you're doing some Memphis like sightseeing. I know a lot of people like to go to Audubon or like the Arcade Restaurant or Hume's High School or like things like that. So I would just definitely do your research. ask around. There's a lot of Memphis like natives who like live in Memphis that could definitely tell you what's a good idea and what's not. But yeah, do your research, especially if you're a young gal or a gal at all, traveling alone. And but yeah, I would say I've gone to Memphis alone, and I would say just, you know, make sure you know what's a good idea and what's not, and don't let like fear stop you from going. Just be prepared and be aware at all times, I would say. I also got a lot of questions asking what's the most fun experience about Elvis Week. Literally for me, okay, if you go to Elvis Week, it's just a hub of like people coming together and finally meeting each other that you either didn't know existed. Like I've had a bunch of people come up to me and be like, I follow you on Instagram and like I love your content, and then we'll vibe and we'll become friends. Or I've met like so many of my friends from Instagram. Oh my gosh, so many people were there this year that I was finally able to meet. Like literally so many people, like the Elvis Sessions group. When we did the Elvis Sessions during COVID, we did our own little virtual Elvis Week, and I think like everybody from the Elvis Sessions was there this year, so we all got to hang out and have fun. For me, just those experiences of like just hanging out with your friends and meeting friends and meeting new people, meeting Elvis people. Like if you hang out at John Daly's Summer Festival, like there are so many people who have worked with Elvis, who are friends with Elvis. Like literally I met Cynthia Pepper, I met Bill Morris, I met, you know, there's like Tish Hinley there, there's Lil Hayes, like there's a bunch of people there that you can meet and get to talk to, and it's just like such a surreal experience. And then obviously like getting to meet up with your friends and things like that. Like literally my best friends are my Elvis friends, and so it means the world to me to be able to see them, even if it's just for once a year. What tour should I take when I go to the Graceland Mansion? I've talked about this a little bit before, but I recommend I think it's called the VIP Entourage tour. It's the one right below like the most like expensive package. So I think that one is just the ultimate VIP. I think the ultimate VIP, like the top one that you get the most with. I personally don't like that one just because you have a tour guide and you have to move with a group. So I like to take the one right below that because you still get all the same perks. You can like go in the house as many times as you want during that day of your tour. You can still go into the complex, you can still go into the plains and all that stuff. But the only thing is you don't have a tour guide. So you can move through the house at your own pace, and you can go with friends if you want to, and you can stay in like the jungle room for as long as you want to. You don't have to keep up or worry about like holding back your tour group or anything like that. So I always recommend that one. I believe it's called the Entourage VIP. And that's always been good to me, and I've always really liked that one. So that's the one I recommend. But again, maybe if you're a new fan and you want that tour guide to tell you those things, go with that one. That one might work for you, but that's the only reason that I do the one right below that. So those are all the questions that I think I'm going to answer for this video. I don't want to make this video too long. It's already like 20 minutes long, girl, so I'm going to cut it here. But thank you to everyone who asked a question or, you know, wanted to know anything about my Elvis Week. You made this video possible, so thank you so much. And for those of you who are considering going to Elvis Week, I got a lot of those kind of messages as well. Like, I'm considering going in 2023, but I'm not sure, like, should I go? What are the perks? Those kind of things. I literally can't tell you how much I recommend going to Elvis Week. I mean, going during off season is fun as well, and there are perks to that also, like, you know, going during not a big time, but going during Elvis Week and being there surrounded by people who love this guy so much, and getting to meet up with all of your friends and seeing all these amazing events, and, you know, going to the festival, it's incredible. Like, it's literally, for an Elvis fan, it'll change your life. And I truly mean that. And I don't, you know, I'm not trying to be dramatic or anything, but it is the one time of year that like keeps me going for the rest of the year. Like, I literally have my countdown on right now. 11 months, girl. I think it's like 11 months, 3 days or something. That's disgusting. But but I have my countdown on because it literally means that much to me. So please come, you know? And if you can't come, maybe catch the virtual Elvis Week, or, you know, make your own Elvis week. I've got so many comments of people telling me how they did that this year, and that's incredible as well. You know, however you want to celebrate him is perfect. I just love the fact that I got to celebrate him this year with my closest friends and being in his hometown, and all that came with that. So I'm considering myself very, very lucky and very blessed, and I know that these are the memories that I will always remember. When I'm old and gray, girl, I'll be telling my grandkids about Elvis Week and when I was young and I would go to Elvis Week with my pals and love Elvis with all my friends. Thank you all so much for watching this video. If you're interested in keeping up with my Elvis content, I also run an Instagram page at myboyMyboy. I post a lot of Elvis content over there, and I'm really mostly active over there. So if you want to check that out, I will link that in the description below. And if you want to see more videos like these, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel as well. All right, guys, I will see you soon in my next episode. Bye-bye.